Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dan Beasley Show. Today is the day after Memorial Day, and it's May 28th, 2013. It's 9:01 a.m., and I hope everyone has had a nice, good weekend, and it was filled with fun and remembrance of those that have given their all and made the ultimate sacrifice for us by giving us our freedoms that we enjoy today. And we're going to be exploring some things that are in the news that's happened since we met last in our last episode. Uh, right now, this episode is called Trust, and today we have news events that ride upon that theme. Trust. Uh, for the first story that we have is a new class of people have been identified as IRS enemies. And who would that be? Who could that be? Um, we we know that the IRS has been fingered as not following protocol and not being what they should be, and that they have been abusing their powers. But now we're looking at the IRS is now claiming that people that have um, faith are people that have um, that go to church, people that have adoptive babies. All of those are going to be considered to be IRS groups. 501c3 organizations are going to be audited by the IRS, and this is going to be like 70% of these people that have been identified as being um, enemies of the IRS. So this is the IRS unilaterally declaring this class of people as IRS enemies. So we have to wonder who's wagging the dog here. Is the tail wagging the dog, or is the dog wagging the tail? I guess we'll just have to wait and see until common sense prevails. But if it doesn't prevail, then we see an erosion more and more of our rights as citizens to being declared not guilty until found guilty. And of course, even if you have to defend yourself, you run up a nice little legal bill either way. So, um, you end up losing. I mean, it's like a farmer that was, I mean, a milk processing plant that was recently closed down by the federal government for selling raw milk that had not been treated or had not been heat treated in any way for the prevention of the spread of disease. And then they were found out that they had 4 charges against them, and 3 of the charges were dismissed, and 1 charge remained. However, he was allowed to retain ownership of his company and also to resume operations. And this is a company that's been in existence for 70 years. So anyway, we got the government. It's spinning wild here, trying to defend itself. It's like a wounded animal. Is trying to identify other people as being the perpetrators and not themselves. That's one of the classic books right out of the Nazi war book. So anyway, moving on to the next story. The American Psychiatry classifies a new mental illness disorders, and it classifies new mental illness disorders, and you can bet that you have one. So this is going to pretty well include everyone. I guess it's connected to the gun issue. The gun issue is, that if you had a mental disorder, that you're not going to be able to own a gun if you don't meet the world's mental health um, definition of being mentally healthy. So um, this is going to really, really rub a lot of people the wrong way. It's going to reach a fever pitch, and this is called DSM-5, conditions for further research. And they've even got a game, internet gaming disorder listed with it. In addition to, and this is a partial list, social communication disorder, meaning you can't talk socially with people, disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, hoarding disorder, caffeine withdrawal disorder. That means if you quit your coffee, you're on the list of being mentally ill. Cannabis withdrawal, if you quit smoking your pot, you're mentally disordered. Excoriation or skin picking disorder, binge eating disorder, rapid eye movement sleep behavior disorder. That's when you're in a deep sleep and you're dreaming and you have a rapid eye movement, or REM as they call it. Restless leg syndrome. I mean, that's just a few of the, that's just 10 out of the what did I say, 40 that they came up with. Well, anyway, it's a list of people. If you want to really get a full list, just look up DSM-5 in your browser and do a search for it. I'm sure you'll find a lot of information on that. In addition to that, you're going to find out that, believe it or not, hemp, or marijuana. Hemp is a tall, gracious-looking annual plant that can reach over 12 feet tall. And although hemp and marijuana came from the same species of plant, they're very different. Confusion has been caused by deliberate disinformation. Hemp is illegal. It's not because of any negative impact to the environment or human health, but exactly the opposite. So environmentally friendly, nutritionally, and medicinally beneficial that it provides too many abundant resources, which would make it impossible for powerful corporations to compete. Anyway, they're saying that it can free us from oil and prevent deforestation and cure cancer, and it's environmentally friendly. So it's illegal because the big companies can't patent it. And if they can't patent it, it can't be taxed. You cannot have it, according to the government. Going on to blacklistednews.com, Obama makes more empty promises, lays the groundwork for expanded warfare. He said the other day in a different story that he was closing down the war machine and pulling out of 2 wars, and that the expanded war on terror was going to be an ongoing thing. It would not be considered to be war anymore. And but he's making these empty promises, and he's laying groundwork for this. Where he's making empty promises, such as controversial targeted killing even on U.S. soil. I mean, this is really, really raising some eyebrows. Getting into another story, there was a story about the Japanese financial system. This is coming from Blacklisted News also. The Japanese financial system is beginning to spin wildly out of control. And everyone knows that the Japanese system is, their monetary unit is the yen. And the yen, since the 1980s, has not fared very well. But early in the 1980s, it was the up-and-coming monetary unit that was being looked upon with a lot of favor. But now Japan is losing a lot of their revenue. They're losing 50%. Their GDP ratio is over 200%. They're spending 50% of all tax revenue on debt. So they're spending half of what they're making now on just debt. And Nikkei that's their stock market, plunged on last Thursday. It plunged 7.3%. That was largest single day decline in more than 2 years. And then on Monday, the index fell another 3.2%. So far, that's 10% decline, or a 10.5% decline in the Nikkei index in the last 2 days of trading. If the meltdown occurs, it's going to have reverberations around the world economy, because it's going to cause the Bank of Japan to lose control. And if it goes down, the crisis could spread to Europe and North America very rapidly. And we've all been told that this year there's going to be some very big surprises economically. So just be on guard and watch what happens in the news, and listen to this program, and we'll try to keep you up to date as much as possible. On the Hill today, the Capitol Hill publication, we're seeing where Obama is embracing the role as a consoler in chief to remain above the fray, above the problems that are being pointed out. He is taking a nonchalant position of not knowing anything about any sort of crisis or any sort of maldoings by his staff. So therefore, he is trying to avert the public's attention off of him and onto the others. And it's like when Rome burned, Nero fiddled, so to speak. So anyway, that's another story in the news. And of course, we're about to wrap it up, but over the weekend, not everyone had a great weekend. An Arizona mother sits in a Mexico jail right now, wrongly accused of smuggling drugs, the family says. And these people are being held, accused of smuggling 12 pounds of marijuana, a charge that the family denies. And they're saying that they believe they were framed. And the daughter is very emotional about this, and of course she has a reason to be. And it says regardless, the husband was told by the authorities, regardless of whether they were guilty or innocent, they'd have to pay $5,000 to secure the freedom of the mother that was involved in this incident. Said the husband was able to cobble together the money, but then was told it was too late. His wife was transferred to another jail. So anyway, when you leave America, you leave American law and their legal system, and you become subjected to the laws of the particular country that you go to. And anyway, this lady is still in jail. Her husband produces the money, but then they transfer her to another jail. So it's like they're playing games or something. But anyway, what is our American embassy doing? I mean, is our embassy doing anything at all to help this lady? I mean, that's the question you have to ask. But our luck with the embassies lately, you could see that maybe they're all inept and incompetent. I mean, who knows? Anyway, moving along, there was another cruise ship meltdown, this time by Royal Cruise Lines. And it happened while the ship was docked, and all the passengers and all crew members have been accounted for and are safe and secure. The fire appeared to be extensive in the area in which it was, which appeared to be on the bridge, but I will look into that further. And right now we're running 14 minutes and 46 seconds into our broadcast here. And the subject for this thing today was called trust. Can you trust your government? Can you trust your lawyer? Can you trust your doctor? Can